The man who hoards wealth as if it could protect him in death misunderstands life. These words capture the essence of Musashi's principle of detachment from material possessions. As a wandering ronin in feudal Japan, Musashi lived a life defined by uncertainty. He had no master, no fief, no estate to call his own. His survival depended entirely on skill, observation, and adaptability. In such a world, clinging to possessions or seeking wealth as a safeguard for old age was not only impractical, it was dangerous. For Musashi, freedom, mobility, and clarity of mind were far more valuable than gold or land. The principle urges avoidance of excessive attachment to material goods, not out of disdain for comfort, but out of wisdom. Possessions, when accumulated obsessively, become chains that bind the mind. They can distract from purpose, foster fear, and limit freedom. Musashi's advice may appear extreme to modern sensibilities. After all, we cannot hunt our own food, nor rely solely on chance for survival. Financial planning and saving for the future are necessary in today's world. Yet the underlying truth remains: wealth is a tool, not a measure of life's meaning, and accumulation beyond necessity does not create safety or happiness. In contemporary terms, the principle speaks to the difference between security and obsession. Achieving financial independence, the point at which your basic needs are met without constant worry, is prudent. But once that level is reached, the pursuit of more becomes a distraction from life's true priorities: family, health, personal growth, and meaningful experiences. Obsessive accumulation does not extend life, prevent suffering, or guarantee peace of mind. Instead, it often fosters anxiety, envy, and a constant, unsatisfying chase for more. Wealth, when understood correctly, should serve freedom rather than cage it. It should provide options, not burdens. It should allow one to act decisively, pursue purpose, and invest in what truly matters. Musashi's wisdom transcends his era. Even in a world of modern conveniences and financial instruments, the lesson is the same. Security lies in preparedness and skill, not in hoarded goods. Freedom comes from detachment, not possession. Once your basic needs and independence are secured, the mind can shift focus from fear-driven accumulation to life itself, nurturing family, cultivating health, and pursuing meaningful work. This principle challenges us to reconsider the role of material wealth in our lives and to prioritize what endures beyond the accumulation of things. True mastery of life, as Musashi teaches, is achieved not through the hoarding of goods, but through freedom, clarity, and purposeful living. Philosophical exploration. At its heart, Musashi's counsel against attachment to material wealth is a lesson in clarity, freedom, and strategic wisdom. In his life as a wandering ronin, he possessed nothing of enduring value beyond his skill, discipline, and mind. A masterless samurai could not rely on a lord's protection, a steady income, or a secure home. Each day demanded adaptability, vigilance, and decisive action. To carry possessions or hoard wealth in such a life would have been a liability, weighing him down physically and mentally. Musashi's insight was clear. True strength arises from detachment, and security comes not from objects, but from skill, awareness, and the ability to navigate uncertainty. Psychologically, attachment to wealth or property introduces subtle but powerful constraints. Obsession with accumulation breeds anxiety, fear of loss, and constant comparison with others. The mind becomes defensive and reactive, preoccupied with preservation rather than action. Hoarding wealth can distort priorities, shifting focus from mastery, purpose, and growth toward the endless pursuit of more. Musashi recognized that such attachments could compromise freedom. A warrior burdened with possessions hesitates, calculates excessively, and loses the agility necessary to respond to life's challenges. In essence, materialism becomes a cage that limits the mind as much as the body. Strategically, wealth is a tool, not a measure of capability. In Musashi's world, physical goods could slow movement, constrain decisions, and expose vulnerability. A samurai carrying a fief, treasure, or supplies risked attack, theft, or betrayal. The truly skilled warrior did not allow possessions to define his strategy. He used them only as instruments to support action, never as anchors that limited it. Detachment, then, is not disdain for value, but an understanding of utility. Objects serve a purpose. They do not dictate life. A masterful mind always evaluates wealth in terms of flexibility and freedom, not status or accumulation. Modern life echoes these truths in subtler forms. While Musashi could not hunt or forage for survival, we cannot ignore financial planning or security. Saving, investing, and preparing for the future are necessary steps to achieve independence. Yet the principle remains. Beyond a certain point, the accumulation of wealth does not equate to freedom, happiness, or mastery. Hoarding money, obsessing over possessions, or comparing oneself to others fosters fear, distraction, and limitation. True financial wisdom recognizes when basic needs are met and allows the mind to focus on what truly matters: family, health, experiences, learning, and personal growth. Wealth should be treated as a tool to enable choices, not to serve as an idol or measure of self-worth. Spiritually and philosophically, detachment cultivates freedom of mind. When fear of loss no longer dominates thought, the mind becomes unshakable, the heart steady, and action deliberate. Security is internal, rooted in skill, adaptability, and purposeful engagement with life. A disciplined mind does not cling to objects for comfort or validation. It aligns resources with values and goals, using them to advance mastery rather than inflate ego. Musashi's life illustrates that independence and resilience are cultivated through practice, reflection, and detachment, not the accumulation of things. Ultimately, the lesson is universal. Possessions are transient, life is fleeting, and attachment can blind the mind. By understanding the limits of wealth, recognizing its utility, and prioritizing freedom and purpose, one liberates the self. Financial independence secures survival, but detachment secures mastery of life. The modern practitioner of this wisdom balances preparation with perspective, earning what is necessary and letting go of what enslaves. Musashi teaches that true security and fulfillment are not found in hoarding goods or estates, but in skill, clarity, and the freedom to act decisively. Wealth is an instrument of life, not life itself. In embracing this mindset, one cultivates a disciplined, resilient, and purposeful existence. Detachment does not deny comfort or planning. It frees the mind from fear, obsession, and distraction. The warrior who understands this principle acts with clarity, invests in what matters, and moves through life unbound, mastering both circumstance and self. Possessions may come and go, but the freedom forged by detachment endures, offering a foundation for wisdom, courage, and meaningful action. Practical application. Applying Musashi's teaching to modern life requires translating the wisdom of detachment into actionable habits that balance prudence with freedom. While financial independence is necessary in today's world, excessive attachment to wealth, goods, or status can limit choice, creativity, and personal growth. The following steps provide a roadmap for cultivating financial clarity, purpose, and freedom without succumbing to obsession over accumulation. Step 1. Define enough and achieve financial independence. The first step toward mastery over possessions is understanding what is truly necessary. Determine your personal enough amount of savings, investments, and passive income required to cover basic needs, provide security, and sustain independence. This is not about becoming wealthy beyond reason, but about creating a foundation that allows freedom of choice. By calculating your financial independence number, you remove the anxiety of scarcity and focus your energy on growth, skill building, and purposeful living. Musashi lived without possessions, yet he never lacked focus. In modern terms, financial independence provides the same clarity, allowing you to pursue life actively rather than defensively. Once your essential needs are secured, the pursuit of further wealth should serve a purpose, not ego or fear. Step 2. Treat wealth as a tool, not an identity. Money should never define your self-worth. Avoid over-identifying with possessions, status, or the accumulation of wealth. Just as Musashi relied on skill and strategy rather than property for survival, modern individuals should view money as a tool to enhance mobility, choice, and opportunity. Investments, savings, and assets exist to provide security, freedom, and options, not to create attachment or social comparison. When wealth is treated as a means rather than an end, every financial decision becomes deliberate, intentional, and aligned with your long-term purpose. This mindset transforms money from a potential source of anxiety into a strategic instrument for growth and autonomy. Step 3. Prioritize life beyond material security. Once financial independence is attained, the focus should shift toward what truly enriches life: family, relationships, health, education, personal development, and meaningful experiences. Musashi's principle emphasizes freedom from obsession, allowing full engagement with the present and the cultivation of skill and character. In practical terms, allocate resources and energy toward what nurtures your well-being and supports those you care about. Material security is a foundation, not the goal. Travel, education, health, and relationships are investments that yield lifelong returns far beyond monetary gain. By prioritizing these areas, you prevent wealth from becoming a distraction or a substitute for meaningful living. Step 4. Build adaptability and skills as real security. True security is not stored in a bank account. It is cultivated through skill, knowledge, and relationships. Develop competencies that provide flexibility, resilience, and opportunity independent of material assets. Networking, professional growth, creative skills, and practical abilities serve as portable wealth that cannot be taken away or devalued by market fluctuations. Musashi relied on his mastery of strategy and combat rather than possessions. Similarly, modern security comes from what you can do, the value you can provide, and the connections you nurture. Skills and adaptability empower decisive action, enabling you to respond to change without fear or dependence on material accumulation. Step 5. Regularly reflect on purpose and intent. Detachment is reinforced by conscious reflection. Periodically evaluate your relationship with money and possessions. Does this acquisition serve my life, my values, and my freedom, or is it driven by fear, comparison, or insecurity? Reflection fosters mindfulness, preventing unconscious accumulation or pursuit of status at the expense of clarity, focus, and peace. Musashi's life as a wandering Ronin exemplifies constant self-assessment and adaptation. By regularly questioning the intent behind financial decisions, you maintain freedom, prioritize meaningful objectives, and ensure that wealth remains a servant to your purpose rather than a chain that binds you. In practice, by defining enough, using wealth strategically, focusing on life beyond money, building skills, and reflecting on purpose, you cultivate a modern mindset rooted in Musashi's philosophy. Financial independence becomes a tool for freedom, not a goal of obsession. Wealth supports life, not the other way around. As a result, every financial, personal, or professional decision is informed by clarity, discipline, and purpose. Detachment from excess allows you to live fully, act decisively, and invest your time and energy in what truly matters. Conclusion: wealth is seductive, but Musashi's wisdom reveals the trap beneath its shine. No coin, no land, no treasure can substitute for freedom, skill, or purpose. To cling to possessions is to cage the mind, trading clarity for comfort, and surrendering the power to act decisively. True mastery is not measured by what you own, but by what you can do, the choices you can make, and the life you can forge. A life bound to material accumulation is a life of subtle slavery, where fear, comparison, and distraction quietly dictate every decision. Financial security is essential. The modern world demands planning, saving, and foresight, yet Musashi reminds us that security is a threshold, not a destination. Beyond the necessities, accumulation is a veil, obscuring the mind and distracting from what is truly important. Skill, judgment, resilience, and the ability to act decisively remain the only true currencies that endure when fortunes vanish, alliances shift, or circumstances collapse. Possessions can vanish overnight, but mastery of oneself and the clarity that comes with detachment cannot. The truly free are those who use resources deliberately, not those who hoard them obsessively. Wealth is a tool to amplify capability, not a chain to define identity. The mind unshackled by obsession, the spirit unbound by fear of loss, moves with precision and purpose. Detachment is not indifference, it is strength. It is the freedom to act decisively, to focus energy where it matters, to pursue mastery without distraction. A hoarded treasure may offer comfort, but it cannot sharpen skill, deepen judgment, or cultivate virtue. Only purposeful action can do that. Musashi's teaching is uncompromising. Possessions must serve life, never dictate it. Live deliberately, build skill, cultivate relationships, pursue knowledge, and act with relentless intent. Money should amplify freedom, not obscure it. Possessions should be tools, not masters. Life is finite, energy is fleeting, and distraction is lethal. Every choice, every investment of time, attention, and energy shapes the legacy you leave. Hoard not coins but discipline. Hoard not land but skill. Hoard not treasures, but the ability to act with freedom, purpose, and mastery. Those who internalize this truth wield a power that material wealth cannot buy. The power to live fully, decisively, and without regret. Mastery, clarity, and freedom define the life worth living. All else is fleeting. Wealth is a servant, not a master. Possessions are tools, not chains. The mind, the skill, the courage to act, these are the treasures that endure beyond time, fortune, and circumstance. True freedom comes not from accumulation, but from mastery over oneself and the deliberate use of what one holds. That is the life Musashi teaches us to pursue, the life of focus, clarity, and unshakable purpose.